All right, it's rolling. Hi, my name's Scott Kuby. This is Brainstorming is Broken. I actually don't believe that. Quick confession. But if you pick a provocative title, they're more likely to let you talk at one of these things. So I don't think brainstorming is broken, but I think the way that most organizations approach brainstorming, our understanding of it as a process, is really limited. Brainstorming has become kind of a buzzword that people think is synonymous with thinking, but it's not the same thing. Brainstorming is actually a very specific concept. A guy named Alex Osborne came up with it in the late 30s at the advertising agency he worked with, popularized it in a few books in the 40s and 50s. Some rules we're probably all familiar with. Up to 12 participants, no judgment or criticism, everybody be nice, and you're going for quantity of ideas, as many as you can possibly generate. The premise being that if everyone in there is free to say whatever they want, in a very safe environment, all of these ideas are going to start bouncing around the room, and they'll multiply and amplify each other, resulting in this wonderful list of genius ideas. In practice, I don't think it works so well. A lot of times, teams use brainstorming as a patch, as a Band-Aid on a lack of creativity in the rest of their process. They think they can shove a bunch of people in a room, milk all the creative juice out of them, throw it back into their regular business system, and get to work. It's a little scary, the when and the why and the how of using brainstorming. If you spend 1 or 2 hours a week in quote-unquote creative mode, where that's where you're thinking, what are you doing the rest of the time? Where is that creativity in the rest of your process? There's some other problems with brainstorming. It can be used as a tool of control. If you're brought into a room and given a problem to solve, you don't get to question the problem. You're just generating ideas on whatever the facilitator or manager has told you the problem is, and that can be very limiting. People think brainstorming can be more efficient. Sometimes the math doesn't work out. If you have 12 people in a room, 90 minutes, it's 18 man-hours. Has anyone ever been granted 18 hours on their own to solve a problem at their job? I don't get that kind of time. Sometimes the people in the room don't care. I think that indifference is much more detrimental to creative thinking than criticism. I love to argue with people. That's how I get good ideas. But if other people in the room don't care, if they don't have passion, it's really tough. So I think that our brainstorming problems are really cultural problems in our organization. We are organizing ourselves away from creativity. We like processes, analyzing, all these things that aren't necessarily thinking. The big driver, the big culprit of this war on thinking are deciders. These people that have to look busy all the time, right? They have to be deciding things. Whoever the decider is in your life, picture them at their desk, twirling a pencil, thinking about something. They don't do it. Deciders see themselves as the opposite of the creatives, these freewheeling people that just have ideas and inspiration pouring out of their heads all of the time. And they tell themselves, well, I'm not a creative, so that's why I can't do this. Let's get the team together and brainstorm. But I don't think creativity is a talent. It's a mode. John Cleese of Monty Python fame talks about it as a way of operating, an attitude that you get into. So that's the myth of creativity that I want to bust. And I would hope that people can start working a little more on thinking all of the time. So the metaphor I like to use is bingo, right? Second only to eureka and something you exclaim when you have a great idea. Bingo, I've got it. Bingo is a great game because everyone can play. So think of your brain as the bingo cage. It's spinning, 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 spinning. The numbers, those are ideas. They're tumbling around all the time. If you never pull a number out, you can't get to the second number. So you have to keep pulling these ideas out to get more. Now, if someone is calling the numbers and you're not listening, if you're not paying attention or capturing these ideas, stamping your card, you don't get to make use of them. If you don't have any cards on the table, or if you have too many cards on the table to sort through it, all of these ideas spilling out aren't going to be able to be put to good use. So I think that thinking is something that can be done on an individual level in a real simple way, and the important difference is noticing. Everyone is having ideas all of the time, all 40 hours of that work week. But if we're only allowed to write them down, if we think that's the only time to capture our ideas, it's not going to be very effective. Neil Gaiman, the author, says the only difference between writers and other people is that they notice when they're having ideas. So that's a stack of cards on the left. Those are ones that made it into this presentation. On the right, those are ones that didn't. Some of those cards, some of those thoughts on brainstorming I've had for years now. If I have a little notion, I write it down, I save it, I stick it in a drawer, and now it's mine. I've captured that card, and eventually I can get a bingo. So I want people to start playing bingo more. metaphorically. It's a good game too. But play bingo, capture your ideas, get better at thinking, and when we all come together to brainstorm, we'll be in that much better position to have some great ideas. Thank you.